Welcome back to Movie Moshow. Today we are going to review the drama film, The Pursuit of Happiness. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We post multiple times daily. Spoilers ahead. Salesman Chris Gardner from San Francisco invests his entire life savings on portable bone density scanners in 1981. He shows these devices to doctors and sells them as an efficient alternative to traditional X-rays. Chris's life is greatly influenced by the scanners. While he is able to sell the most of them, his wife Linda, a hotel maid, is enraged by the gap between the sales and his increasing financial demands. Even though they are raising their soon-to-be 5-year-old son, Christopher Jr., the economic volatility is causing their marriage to suffer. Chris meets Jay Twistle, a lead manager and partner for Dean Witter Reynolds, as he is attempting to sell one of the scanners. Chris impresses Jay by resolving a Rubik's Cube in the cab. Chris is unable to pay the fare after Jay exits, so he decides to flee. The driver pursues him aggressively into a BART station as a result. Chris gets on a train but misplaces one of his scanners. However, Chris gets the chance to work as an intern stockbroker thanks to his new relationship with Jay. Chris reluctantly agrees to paint his apartment the day before the interview in an effort to avoid being evicted because he is having trouble making his rent payments. 2 police officers arrive at Chris's door while he is painting and take him to the police station while informing him that he must pay for the several parking tickets he has accrued. Chris is required to spend the night in jail as part of the punishment, which complicates his plans for the interview the next day. Chris shows up on time at Dean Witter's office even though he is still wearing worn-out, paint-covered attire. Chris manages to wow the interviewers despite his appearance and secures a 6-month unpaid internship. He is one of 20 interns vying for a job as a stockbroker that is paid. Linda, who finally departs for New York because she might land a position at her sister's boyfriend's new restaurant, is not pleased with Chris's unpaid internship. Chris simply informs Linda that she is unable to care for Christopher alone, and Linda decides that Christopher will stay with Chris. Chris is further hindered when the IRS levies a bank account garnishment for overdue income taxes, resulting in their eviction. Chris ends himself with less than $25, leaving him and Christopher homeless. At one point, they are compelled to remain in a BART station lavatory. On other days, Chris and Christopher spend the night at a hotel, a BART shelter, or a homeless shelter if Chris can get enough money. After fixing it, Chris sells the bone scanner he had earlier misplaced in the BART station to a doctor, concluding the sale of all of his scanners. Chris uses many strategies to make sales calls more effectively, including reaching out to potential high-value customers and breaking procedure, because he is constrained by his short work hours and is aware that increasing his client connections and profits is the only way to obtain the broker job. Chris and Christopher are even taken to a San Francisco 49ers game by one sympathetic prospect, Walter Ribbon, a top-tier pension fund manager, where Chris makes friends with some of Mr. Ribbon's acquaintances who are also possible clients. Despite his difficulties, Chris never discloses his miserable situation to his co-workers. He even goes so far as to lend one of his bosses, Mr. Frome, $5 to pay for a cab ride when Chris cannot afford it. Additionally, he prepares for and passes the stockbroker license test. Chris is called to a meeting with the partners as his final day of the internship comes to an end. Chris responds that he felt it was proper to dress for the occasion on his last day after Mr. Frome comments on his shirt. Mr. Frome praises him, advises Chris to wear another one tomorrow, informs him that he has been offered the much sought-after full-time employment, and pays him back for the previous cab fare. Chris shakes hands with the partners while holding back tears, goes to Christopher's daycare, and hugs him. As they banter with one another while walking down the street, the genuine Chris Gardner in a suit passes them. In 1987, Gardner established his own multimillion-dollar brokerage firm, which he later sold a minority part in a multimillion-dollar sale in 2006. This information is revealed in the epilogue. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.